Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Rama Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna. Mama Nam Samati. Achama Karota Vritha. Rasamrjapa. Avancha Kalpatara Vishta. Kripa Sindhu Evacha. Patitanam Pavanebhyo. Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Shri Advaita Gadadhara. Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. We have Prabhupada quote. You should not be carried away by the dictation of the mind, but the mind should be carried away by your dictation. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, we have Sadhak Seva announcement text. Sadhak Seva means practical seva opportunities to help each other in different situations like job search, business referral, house search, finding loans officers, taxes help, legal help, health-related help, matrimonial-related, and many other types of help. Sadhak Seva means we should not only help motivating others for japa, but also help in other practical ways. Everyone who is a member of Japa conference must also help everyone else in a more practical sense. Presently, please share your name and number to our everyday chat Harinam Japa WhatsApp group or email to everydaychat@gmail.com. Thanks. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Namah Sarvevya Vishwagatam Bhaktaganam Dipya Nanamevam Vasanagre Nama Varitu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mama Nama Shamarasika, Aham German Town Nagare Vachami, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Prasad, Jai Guru Maharaj ki Jai.
Hare Krishna. Guru Maharaj ki Jai. Prabhupada ki Jai. Dhanyavad Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mama Nam Haladar Das, Sam Strimur Nagare Vasami. Prabhupada ki Jai, Guru Maharaj ki Jai. My humble obeisance to all devotees on the phone call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Guru Maharaj ki Jai. Prabhupada ki Jai. Dhanyavad Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्णा मम नाम विकास कुलकर्णी हम टोरंटो नगरे स्वामी गुरु महाराज की जय श्री प्रभुपाद की जय मैं humble obeisances to all the devotees on the call. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Guru Maharaj ki Jai. Prabhupada ki Jai. Dhanyavad Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Would anybody else like to announce their names? Hare Krishna. Would anybody else like to announce their names? Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Today we are reading chapter 15, the Yoga of the Supreme Person, chapter revision. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji or Mataji, please take over the call now. Hare Krishna.
Sharanagata Mataji is not here, so Aladar Prabhu and Vikas Prabhu, please take care of the call. We will follow your instructions.
Vikas Prabhu will follow you, Prabhuji. Take care.
Hare Krishna. Since we just completed the reading of chapter 15, as Sharnagata Mataji had said, we will do the recitation of the chapter. So we will go through the verse recitation and recitation of the translation between the 4 or 5 of us, whoever are there on the call. So there are 20 verses. If there are 4, we can read 5 verses each. If there are 5 of us, I don't know whether your your dad and or your sister are there, Sumati Mataji. In that case, we can have 4 verses or maybe 3 verses read by each of us. And then we can, as Sharnagata Mataji had said, after that, we can offer our reflections on any or all of the 20 verses. So that's how she had foreseen us having this call. So let's do that. Hare Krishna.
We need to do Mangalacharan, right, Prabhu?
Oh, yes, of course, Prabhuji. I'm so sorry. Absolutely. So either the Mataji or you, Prabhu, can lead us in Mangalacharan prayers. Why don't you go ahead, Prabhuji?
Okay. Hare Krishna. Dhanyavad. Giving me opportunity to serve you all. Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. So we go Mangalacharan. Om Ajnantimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Tadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutpadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaisnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagan Raghunathan Vintam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Paridan Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sagan Lalita Shri Visakanvitamsya He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda. Everybody join with me, please. Hare
Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Hare
Krishna, Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare,
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama, Rama
Rama Rama, Hare
Rama,
Hare.
Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Krishna
Krishna
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Hare.
Hare,
Hare
Hare
Rama,
Rama,
Hare
Hare
Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Kudhirai Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamastoke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistakim Govardhanandaram Vande Gopalam Goparupinam Gokulottavavishanam Govindam Gopika Priyam Govardhanam Dharam Vande Gopalam Goparupinam गोकुलोत्सव ईशानं गोविन्दं गोपिका प्रियम् हरे नाम केवलम् हलो नास्तेव 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 गतिरन्यथा हरे नामेव केवलम् हलो नास्तेव 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 गतिरन्यथा हरे नामेव केवलम् हलो नास्तेव 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 गतिरन्यथा Hare Krishna Prabhu, take it over from this point. Dhanyavad. So
we begin with the recitation of the verse and the translation of the verse. So, in the same order of how we introduced ourselves on the call.
oh, you want me to go there?
Starting perhaps Mati Mataji and then...
okay. All right.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, should I start? Hare Krishna.
Yes, Mataji, go ahead.
Yes. Bhagavad Gita, chapter 15, text 1. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Urdhvamulam Madhashakam Ashwatam Prahuravyayam Chandamsi Yasya Parnani Yastam Veda Savedavit. Prabhuji, do I read the translation?
Yes, Mataji.
Translation. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "It is said that there is an imperishable banyan tree that has its roots upward and its branches down, and whose leaves are the Vedic hymns. One who knows this tree is the knower of the Vedas." Text 2. Adhashtodvam prashita sasya shakha guna pravriddha vishaya pravala adhashya mulanya anusantatani karmanubandhini manushya loke. Translation. The branches of this tree extend downward and upward, nourished by the three modes of material nature. The twigs are the objects of the senses. This tree also has roots going down, and these are bound to the fruitive actions of human society. Text number 3. Narupamasyeha hatatopalabhyate nanto na chadir na cha sampratishta ashwatthamenam suvirudamulam asanga shastrena dridena chitva tata padam tat परिमार्गितव्यं यस्मिन् गता न निवर्तन्ति भूय तमेव चाद्यं पुरुषं प्रपद्ये यथा pravritti prashata purani. Translation. The real form of this tree cannot be perceived in this world. No one can understand where it ends, where it begins, or where its foundation is. But with determination, one must cut down the strongly rooted tree with a weapon of detachment. Thereafter, one must seek that place from which having gone, one never returns, and there surrender to that Supreme Personality of Godhead, from whom everything has been extended since time immemorial. Hare Krishna. Someone like to continue?
Is your sister or your father there, Mataji?
No, Prabhuji. My sister and my father are right now they're not here.
Okay. No worries, Mataji. So if there are only 4 of us, you can read the 5th verse. There are 20 verses, so all of us get 5 verses to recite. And then after Mataji, you are done. Shyam Rasika Mataji, you can read verses 6 to 10. Sorry,
Okay.
Halada Das Prabhu, you can read verses 6 to 10.
Okay.
Sure, Prabhuji. Text 5. Nirmana jita sanga dosha adhyatma nitya vinivritta kama dandva vimukta sukha dukkha samya vachadya mura padam avyayam tat. Translation: those who are free from false prestige, illusion, and false association, who understand the eternal, who are done with material lust, who are freed from the dualities of happiness and distress, and who, unbewildered, know how to surrender unto the Supreme Person, attain to that eternal kingdom. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji Prabhuji. From chapter 15, I'll start from text number 6. न तद्भासयते सूर्यो न शशांको न पावकः यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम. That supreme abode of mine is not illuminated by the sun or moon, nor by the fire or electricity. Those who reach it never return to this material world. Text number 7. ममैवांसो जीवलोके जीवभूतः सनातनः मनसस्तानीन्द्रियाणि prakrtistaनि karshati. The living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the six senses, which includes the mind. Text number 8. शरीरं यदवाप्नोति यच्चाप्युत्क्रामतीश्वरः गृहीत्वैतानि संयाति वायुर्गन्धानि वासयात्. The living entity in this material world carries these different conceptions of life from one body to another. As the air carries aromas, thus he takes one kind of body and again quit it to take another. Text number 9. Shotram chaksuhu sparshanam cha rasanam granameva cha adhisthaya manaschaya vishayanupasevati. The living entity, thus taking another gross body, obtains the certain type of ear, eye, tongue, nose, and senses of touch, which are grouped about the mind. He thus enjoys the particular sets of sense objects. Text number 10. Utkramantam stitam vapi bunjanam va gunanvitam vimudhananu pashyanti jnana chaksusaha. The foolish cannot understand how a living entity can quit his body, nor can they understand what sorts of body he enjoys under the spell of the modes of nature. But those whose eyes are trained in knowledge can see all this. Hare Krishna. Please take over the next person.
Hare Krishna. Text number 15.11. Yatanto yoginashchaina pasyantyaatmanyavyastitam navyavasthitam yatantopyakrutatmano nayanam pasyantyachetasaha. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The endeavoring transcendentalists who are situated in self-realization can see all this clearly. But those whose minds are not developed and who are not situated in self-realization cannot see what is taking place, though they may try. Text 12. Yadadi jagatam tejo jagadhasayate kilam yachandramasi yachagno tattejo vidhimamakam. Translation. The splendor of the sun which dissipates the darkness of this whole world comes from me, and the splendor of the moon and the splendor of fire are also from me. 6:13 गामाविश्य च भूतानि धारयाम्यहमोजसा पुष्णामि चौषधिः सर्वः सोमो भूत्वा रसात्मकः. Translation: I enter into each planet and by energy they stay in orbit. I become the moon and thereby supply the juice of life to all the vegetables. 6:14 Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva Praninam Dehamashritah Pranamanasamayuktah Panchamyannam Chaturvidham. Translation: I am the fire of digestion in the bodies of all living entities and join the air of life, outgoing in and incoming, to digest the four kinds of foodstuff. Text 15 सर्वस्य चाहं हृदि सन्निविष्टो मत्तः स्मृतिर्ज्ञानं पोहनं च वेदैश्च सर्वैः रमय वेद्यो वेदान्तकृद्वेदविदेव चाहं. Translation: I am seated in everyone's heart, and from me comes remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. I need. Indeed, I am I am the compiler of Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Vedas. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Dvamimo purusho loke क्षरश्च अक्षर एव च क्षरः सर्वाणि भूतानि कुटस्थो अक्षर उच्यते. There are two classes of beings, the fallible and the infallible. In the material world, every living entity is fallible, and in the spiritual world, every living entity is called infallible. Uttamah purushastvanyah parmatmityudaritah yo lokatrayam avishya vibhartya avyaya ishwarah. Besides these two, there is the greatest living personality, the Supreme Soul, the imperishable Lord Himself, who has entered the three worlds and is maintaining them. Yasmaksharam matitoham aksharaadapi cha uttamaha atosmi loke vede cha pratitah purushottamaha. Because I am transcendental, beyond both the fallible and the infallible, and because I am the greatest, I am celebrated both in the world and in the Vedas as that Supreme Person. Yo mameva sammudho janati purushottamam sa sarvavid bhajati mam sarvabhavena bharata. Whoever knows me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead without doubting is the knower of everything. He therefore engages himself in full devotional service to me, O son of Bharata. Iti guhyatamam shastram idam muktam maya naga etad buddhva buddhimanasyat ritkrityascha bharata. This is the most confidential part of the Vedic scriptures, O sinless one, and it is disclosed now by me. Whoever understands this will become wise, and his endeavors will know perfection. Hare Krishna. So, as Mataji had asked of us, let us, as a service, provide our reflections on some or all of the verses and what we take from chapter 15. We can also ask if we have any questions, and at the end, we can also cover the questions. Hare Krishna. In the same order of our recitation, so maybe Sumati Mataji, I'll put you on the spot to begin.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. So my favorite part in this chapter is text number 17, because before that verse Krishna talks about the two types of people which are infallible and which are fallible, and after that he talks about that that in the material world, everyone is infallible. Everyone is fallible, but in the spiritual world, everyone is infallible. And after that, he's talking about that besides these two people, there's also the Supreme Soul, which is the Lord Himself. And it also the thing I like about this verse is that it proves that that Jiva and the Supreme God, they can never be the same. They're always different. So we're like servants of Krishna. Krishna's he's the head. So the thing is, you can never become one with God because we're always different from God. And it also talks about what Krishna's opulence, that he has entered the three worlds and he's maintaining them. So how this world is running, it shows how Krishna's in every part of it, even though he might not, like, we might not be able to see him, but he's actually maintaining and like running this world. So I really like that part too. Hare Krishna.
Very nice reflections, Mataji, and beautifully explained. Ladar Das Prabhu.
Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Yeah, I always like this verse, text number 15. Sarvasya chaham hridisannivisto mattasmriti jnanam apohanam cha vedishya sarvir ahmeva vedyo vedanta could be veda videva chaham. It says that I'm seated in everyone's heart. And from me comes the remembrance, knowledge, and forgetfulness. By all the Vedas, I am to be known. Indeed, I am the compiler of Vedanta, and I am the knower of the Vedas, which, as I've learned and I have tried to understand it, and still trying to understand more about it, it's a proven the Lord is within our hearts, We don't need to go anywhere else to find Him. So it makes a more inspiration to journey inward rather than outwards more. And it's easier, not easier, but it's a very much proven, and we can try to prove this point, what Lord has explained here, that journey within us is a bigger than what you see journey outside, And it really centralized the whole Bhagavad Gita idea, knowing all this, that what is Bhagavad Gita is trying to explain us. Studying all this, practicing all kind of things that has been explained in our scriptures, you come to this point that Krishna is everything. Aham sarvasya Prabhu, So to try this, maybe we not be successful, but of course, our journey be towards the success points, So it is a very, very beautiful way it's been explained. And from here, you can journey inside and outside both, That's very beautiful things about it. Many points are there. I cannot explain very well because of my vocabulary is kind of limited. But that's what I like it most, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. You are very humble. Your vocabulary is actually quite good. Uh, we are happy to hear from you on any other words, any other reflection that you have on chapter 15.
More about that, I can go like, I always love Mame Vanso Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Manasastani Indriyani, Prakritistani Karshati. What a beautiful way he says. Again he says, Mame Vanso Jiva Loke. Part of me, you're part. So that gives them more security for a person who wants to study, understand the Gita. Hey, I'm part of the Lord's. Who am I? What am I? What am I doing here? It's realizing, really truly realizing, if you go deeper, that, and I did try to identify myself. Hey, who am I? What am I doing here on this? Why am I here? What's my next journey? What's the reason I'm here? What should I do? Should I follow the Guru Maharaj's and whom I trust and my faith in this? And that makes a really, really deeper, it takes you inside more here rather than going outside. Of course, outside give you inspirations, It's a reflections. Inspiration is very essential to go and study the scriptures or study and realize yourself. So that gives me a more and more faith on Bhagavad Gita. And that is it, the living entity in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental part due to the conditioned life. They are struggling very hard with the six senses, which includes the mind. So really, really, just a person wants to realize the Bhagavad Gita. I would say this point is very important in this verse text is telling me so much. It's a many beautiful verses in this chapter. So beautifully, Lord has and Guru Maharaj has explained and descriptions, and if you read the purpose, you will love the Bhagavad Gita. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Shyam Rasika Mataji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, sorry, I was on mute. Then I was talking. So I read verse from 15 to 11, 15.11 to 15. So in this 11th verse, Krishna is explaining about the yoga, and so yoga means to connect, and there are so many yogis here in this world, but they are just doing some sort of gymnastic exercise, and they are satisfied if the body is well built and healthy, but they don't have the other information about the spirituality. So Krishna is saying that the in other words, the bhakti yogis, those who engages in pure devotional service in the Krishna consciousness, can understand how the things are taking place. And then in next verse, Krishna is saying that the splendor of the sun, who gives the light to the world, is also coming from him, and the splendor of the moon, uh, and the fire, also coming from Krishna only, because he gives the juice for the vegetables and the flowers, and that's how grow. Like previously, I was thinking that due to sunlight, everything is growing, but when I read this verse, I understood that with the explanation of Srila Prabhupada, that the moon is the who, because of whom the vegetables and flowers and plants grow up. And then next verse, Krishna is explaining that I am in the each planet, enter in the each planet, and by his energy, they are staying in the orbit, and everything is going well. And here Prabhupada gave an analogy that if the living entity is in the body, if there is a spirit soul, the body floats on the water, but when there is no soul in the body sinks in the water. So like that, due to Krishna is in everything, every planet, and every moon, sun, and everyone, the planets are floating in the universe. If Krishna will not there, then everything will be fall down from the air. The next verse is, I am the fire of the digestion. So whatever we eat, and because of that only, it is digesting, and Krishna is the shwas, like every shwas is Krishna. Taking air in and taking air out, that is also uh, getting by the mercy of Krishna. And the 15 verses, I am seated in everyone's heart. So in the knowledge, so everyone has Atma and Paramatma in their heart. And the Paramatma, like two birds in the branch. There are two birds in the branch, on the sitting in the branch, and Krishna is watching whatever we do, good things or bad things. But when he don't interrupt us, but if we surrender to him and we request him to guide us, then only he interferes and he gives us the path of bhakti. And if we are doing wrong, Krishna gives us intelligence that we should not do this wrong things. So these are the reflections, understanding I had, Prabhuji. I don't know if it's correct or not, but yeah, Prabhuji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I saw Valli Mataji also join, so
Yeah, Hare
she will.
Krishna, Hare Krishna. Sorry, I was late today also. I was listening so very wonderful nectar. This is one of the smallest chapters, that's what I can say, together with the Bhakti Yoga in 12th chapter, that is having the 20 verses, and also the next one is this one with the same kind of 28 verses, but it has most important like nectar of this entire Bhagavatam. That's what I can say, Prabhuji. Very nicely explained. And also the first, when I read the first two slokas, and I remember Sharanagata Mataji saying about that reflection of the tree in the water in the previous class. So the slokas 3 and 4 also very important. न रूपमस्येह तथोपलभ्यते नान्तो न चादिर्न सम्प्रतिष्ठा स्वेत्तमेनं सुविरूढमूलम् असङ्गशस्त्रेण दृढेन चित्वा. The last line mainly how we have to develop our asanga and how we have to cut the strong rooted tree within ourselves, and where we don't know where to start and where to end. Also, it is completely confusion wherever we see in this world, and the relations that we maintain, and some of them are connecting again and some of them are leaving us, and how the journey of our life is moving, that is bewildering, and it is completely out of our control. But God gave here the only weapon that we can cut is the determination one must have strongly in, because of we have to use this weapon of detachment. That is also very important. Also, I like the verses from 5 to 15 the most, because they have the main problem that it is seated in our heart for a long time, because we have all this false prestige and false associations. What are all mentioned in text 5, right? Those who are free from false prestige, illusion, and false association, who understand the eternal, who are done with the material lust. What do you mean by who are done with the material lust? When will we done with the material lust in this life? How long can we cut these attachments, and dualities of happiness and distress are always there in our life. So he gives clearly the way how to come out of this entanglements also, but he also gives the way of yoga, as Mataji said, how to connect to the yogic vibration within our body. Everything is uh, uh, what I can say is Gupta. It is kept as a secret within our body. Once we have to activate those nadis and activate those powers within ourselves, God has created everyone the same way. But how the mind is the only thing that is controlling all the senses. The next sloka also it says, right, which includes the mind. The living entity is controlled, is conditioned, mainly not controlled. It is conditioned. Conditioned is more powerful because we are using the conditioning. It is not controlled by anything from outside. The conditioning is happening from within. Because of this, struggling very hard with six senses, and which includes the mind. That is my very favorite part, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So, starting with Sumati Mataji's explanation and why she likes verse 17 to Haladhar Das Prabhu's elaboration of verse 15 and 7. And then Mataji talked about verses 11 to 15. And you also picked up so many things from verse 1 to almost verse 10. You know, there is, and as you rightly said, Mataji, there are only 20 verses in this chapter, but they are just so packed with everything.
Yes.
So, what I am going to say is just going to be a repetition of what all you have said. But as a service, I'll try to do that. From my perspective, when I look at this chapter, the one thing that I got reminded of was when I was in Dubai and trying to learn how to drive. One of the things the instructors there used to say is, unlearn what you have learned. Then learning is very simple. Basically, what they meant is we've learned some very wrong techniques if we've driven before in India. So you have to unlearn all of that. And then you have to take to the instructions that are given and then understand. So in a way, if we sort of clear our mind of everything and just read these 20 verses, then in these 20 verses, especially this particular chapter, you will find the 5 topics that Prabhupada has said Bhagavad Gita covers. The Lord is talking about the Jiva, He Himself. So, in all His 3 features as Brahma, Paramatma, and Bhagwan. Then He's talking about the creation, He's talking about karma, and He's also talking about time. Everything is covered within these 20 verses. So that's one reflection I was having as I was thinking about this chapter, that in the 20 verses, everything is covered. So starting from the very first verse, so there is everything has a beginning. So in that sense, yes, this is a upside down tree, because in some ways, and it has originated, the seed of that tree is nevertheless the navel of the Lord. He is maintaining that tree, and from that, from the roots, basically the roots are coming from Him. So in some sense, even this tree is divine. But what has happened is, if we were to just simply be in this tree and understand its roots itself and maintain that understanding, that is perhaps okay to be and enjoy, see the tree and glorify the tree as well as the maintainer of the tree. But what we've done is we've created secondary and ancillary roots. That is our problem. So we have then started to put the other roots that are based on our desires. So that's what it says, right? Like there are other roots that hold this tree, and that makes our uh, existence in this world so steadfast. That is what is meant, the conditioning of the mind, because of our likings and dislikings. Whatever we do in this world, where we take ownership of that act, we in a way are creating new and new roots. We The moment we have a desire to enjoy, we start to have another root created, and all of these roots are the causes why we are getting more and more stuck in this world. So, one of the questions we should be asking ourselves as sadhaka is, when I am engaged in something, am I actually creating a new root that is going to bind me? Forget about what I am already bound with through this world, but am I creating a new root? Am I actually tying myself up more and more? And the Lord then explains those who are contemplative, those who are intelligent will understand this. They will understand it, especially if they go through the Vedas, because he is the creator of the Veda. He gives the knowledge in the Vedas as to how to understand this world, how to come out of this world. He also says that if you just rely on him, forget about the Veda, because he's sitting in the heart, he will tell you and he will remind you of things. If you are in a confusion, you are in a conundrum as to what to do, what is the right thing or the wrong thing, even when you have no such facility to either have the shelter of a guru or have access to the right scriptures that guide you rightly, if you completely surrender and say, I have no clue how to react to this situation, tell me, and the answer will come. The answer may not always be the same for everybody because it depends on our level of evolution, it depends on our level of prayer, etc. But the answer will definitely come. So that's another aspect of the Lord's mercy. And then we also see the Lord's mercy is in everything. He said that, any and every enjoyment propensity that we have, he is the one who's providing it and who's maintaining it. As Mataji very rightly said in verse 17, the second aspect of, so she explained the importance of that. There are Shara and there are Akshara Jivas, and that there is Paramatma who's different from them. And then Mataji said, and he maintains it. Maintenance to what level? Just think about it. We cannot eat without him. We cannot digest without him. The food is given by him. The sense is given by him. The taste is given by him. The desire to eat is given by him. Everything is given by him. So, as I said, if we are just simply able to erase all the misgivings and the confusions and whatever we've learned before, and just understand these 20 verses, basically, dispassionately, if you think about it without even too much analysis, what the Lord is saying is, there is this tree, the tree is binding you. There is, get to the root of the tree, just cut this tree. The moment you are cut this tree, your attachment to the tree will go away. Then you will look around. When you look around, what will you find? You will find that there is another loka. There are akshara jivas there. And you will also realize, because you are not so engrossed in this material tree, you will also understand whether this material tree or whether the Akshar Dham for the Akshar Jivas, there it is him who's maintaining. You will then realize the tremendous love and mercy he has for all of us. Otherwise, why would he do it? Why would he even do the creation? He could have ignored our desire to enjoy. Not only he creates, then he creates it as a reflection of the other world. So another example that came to my mind was, as kids, generally not the, again, to say it so, but most, you would find that little girls and some boys, they will want to play mom and dad, and they will have their own playhouse, the doll house, and then in the doll house there will be the kitchen and the bedroom and the anything and everything, and they will have their own world playing that game. One will act like a mother, one will act like a father, there will be some who will act like children, there will be some who's a doctor and all that, and any and every such games are going on. But we get so engrossed in the games, and that game is just like a reflection of the real house. The kids have come out of the house into the backyard where there is a playhouse and they are playing. We forget that there is a real house somewhere and we need to get there. But look at the mercy of the Lord. The Lord is maintaining the doll house. He sent Durga as the overseer of that house. Ensure that whatever they want, they get in that house, even though they are wanting to come out of the main house to play in the playhouse, even though the playhouse is temporary. Still, all facilities are provided by him. And his thoughts, and he is there with all of us in our heart. So it doesn't matter if now from the playhouse analogy, we will understand that for if Brahma's life is 311.4 trillion years, for the duration of Brahma, he is with us every single moment, because we are going up and down in this 14 levels of the universe or 28 levels of hell. He, there is nothing mentioned in the Shastras that even in hell he is giving us up. He's always there with us. So it doesn't matter where we are, he's experiencing all of that, and he's supporting us in any and every situation, no matter how pathetic and deplorable that situation is, he comes with us. So that is his beauty, recognizing his beauty, he's recognizing his mercy, recognizing his love. We all should then, therefore, automatically be praying to him, automatically be attached to him, automatically be serving him. And this is what I meant. If we take all our previous misgrudges and misconceptions out, these 20 verses will tell us what else is there. And in these 3 verses, there is no confusion. He is not stopping at Brahma level. We, because of our misconceptions and what we've heard, we think, oh, there is a Brahman. He doesn't say that. He ends the chapter at verse 19 and 20, where he says, he is the Purushottama. He is the complete Lord. He doesn't stop at saying, I am the Paramatma. So that is the end destination. No, he says, I am the one who is created. And therefore, there will be no confusion. If we just read and fully understand these 20 verses, we will understand the Bhagwan feature in its entirety. So that to me was such a beautiful aspect of this chapter, as to how the Lord is talking about it. And, it also, as Mataji had said, in verses 16, 17, and 18, it speaks of how the Vedas are contained in this 20 verses, and actually within those 3 verses. And why is the Lord even talking about the essence of the Vedas? Just see it. In verse 15, he says, I am the one who created the Vedas, I am the knower of the Vedas, and the goal of the Vedas is to understand me. So then the Lord would not generally stop there and say that that's it. So he's basically in the next 3 verses actually explaining what he meant by the 15th verse. So he's saying, now in terms of Vedas, there are the Vedas, the Upanishads, the Aranyakas, and all of that. You could read that. There are commentaries on Vedas. Mahabharata itself is supposed to be a commentary on Veda. Bhagavatam is a commentary on Veda. These are, again, thousands and thousands of verses, and maybe you get meandering and you may get lost in it. The Lord has summarized it in 3 verses, that there is Kshara, there is Akshara. Why would you want to be Akshara? And Kshara means one who's changing, who's fallible. What does fallible mean? Because we are fallible to what we see around us, and therefore we want to enjoy this, we want to enjoy that, we want to do this, we want to do that. And it's always changing, because of which the Lord has explained we take different bodies suitable to such enjoyments. So give up all of that. There are the Aksharas who don't change their mind and mentality in such way. Actually, in chapter 2, verse 40 also and 41 also, the Lord has said, those who have one-pointed intelligence, steadfast intelligence, their mind is not divided into things. That's really what the Lord said, that change your mindset from being Akshara to the mindset of Akshara, where your mindset doesn't change, your determination doesn't change. With that kind of determination, you will realize what is the nature of this world. You actually would have, the moment you start to think like Akshara, you will start to have used and exercise that sword to cut this material world, or cut our ties to this material world. Then you will start to realize that we all are in the same boat. Why are we in the same boat? Who is the maintainer of the boat? You will then realize at the soul level, the Brahma feature of the Lord. When at the connectivity level, you will understand the super soul feature of the Lord. And then the Lord himself says, beyond that also, I am the supreme. And that is the essence of the Vedas explained in those 3 verses. And the last verse, why does the Lord end by saying, if you know all of this, all your endeavors will know perfection? So this is again, if we just think about it, why do we take endeavors? Why do we make even any effort? Any effort, forget about what it is. We make any effort because there is a desire, there is something that caused us to make that effort. Generally speaking, if you boil everything down to its essence, it's because we want to enjoy, we want to be fulfilled. Even why enjoy? Because we feel incomplete without that. So the full potential to enjoy is what is our true nature. To realize that potential, we are going around in this material world to do something. So if we engage in things that are temporary, then that fulfillment will never be there. Hence also, because now you know that don't go after the temporary, go after the things that are permanent in nature. What is it that is permanent in nature? How to remain in that consciousness? And in that consciousness, while in this chapter, the Lord does not truly explain, but he will get to it. He is actually given hints of it, that as parts of him, you're supposed to serve him. So then in that consciousness, when we try to serve him, or even when we are connected, forget about beginning to serve him. The moment we are connected with him, our fulfillment happens, that eternal bliss comes in, that happiness, that, and his avyaya. So one, he is able to fulfill our desires in the material world in an unlimited way, avyaya. And when you are connected, just that connection gives that avyaya, unlimited, infinite level of happiness. And that is the beauty of this chapter and this verse. So once we are connected, of course, the kind of activities we will do, uh, it will become successful. It will find success. Why? Because it is in relation to him. Hare Krishna.
Very nice explanation, Prabhu. Beautiful.
Thank you, Prabhuji. We still have some time, so we can get into discussions on questions and answers. If anybody has any questions on this verse, we all can discuss those. Okay. Hare Krishna. So maybe with everybody's permission, we can stop the call for today here. We'll do the prayers to the Vaishnavas. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa
Kripasindhubhya eva cha patitanam
patitanam
pavanebhyo
pavnebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo
namo
namo
namaha.
namah. Koti Vaishnava ki jai,
Srila
Harinam
Prabhupada ki
Krishna
jai.
ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank
Hare
you,
Krishna.
devotees.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, Mataji, for joining.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.